thank you very much for coming in, making this part of your Tuesday. If you're a guest with us, welcome. You are always welcome. We're here every Tuesday morning, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, freedomteamzoom.live. Wednesdays, if you want to come back and join us tomorrow, it's just open mastermind. So whatever you guys want to talk about, a lot of times we'll be going back over stuff we learned today, hitting different things. Any questions you guys have, that's always good too. So just come back and join us tomorrow. You're always welcome. So, guys, the first Tuesday of the month, always look forward to it. It's one of our highest attended trainings every month by the time it gets rolling out because we're talking AI. And AI has this, man, I was on there all day yesterday. Me and Claude, we are going at it in a good way. Still got ChatGPT going, trying to figure things out. I mean, just you're always rolling out new things. But Nick is the AI expert. Nick Krem, he and his brother started their company, Krem, the Krem Institute of Artificial Intelligence. You can go to his website, krem.ai, and he's got all kinds of stuff. A lot of us have been through his program. You can go through that or not. But he's got great stuff keeping us up to date with what we're doing with artificial intelligence, how it can help our businesses, make us stand out in the crowd and being found in searches. There's just so much going on with AI. If you're not keeping up with it, you're definitely getting left behind. I mean, to some degree, in a big way. So, Nick, I'm going to turn it over to you. Take it away, man. You're down in Orlando. By the way, he's in Orlando. He's got an event, a 2-day event that starts here in an hour or two. And I was like, man, do we need to reschedule it, Nick? He's like, no, I can make it work. So he's here, man. You always pour into us, so we appreciate it, man. Thank you very much.
No, absolutely, Jeff. And, I'm glad you texted me too, because I'm like, all right, I'm going to make sure I get there a little bit earlier, get set up, get the Wi-Fi and all that good stuff here. That's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys could kind of see the background here. We're about 20 floors up here in Orlando. Beautiful event with the one and only Mike Collier. Who here knows Mike Collier? Man, my man Mike's sitting over here. We're putting on the event here in Orlando. And, we're going to be talking a little bit about AI, like some of the things that we are currently seeing, some of the things that we're currently doing, and just more so the solution end of all this. And I'm curious, before I jump into all this today, is anybody here using Claude Cowork, Claude Code, OpenClaw, Perplexity Computer, or anything along those lines? Just put yes or no in the chat so I kind of get a gauge for where we are currently at. Sean, of course Sean is. Yes. Rick, yes. All right, ChatGPT only. Tracy, no, yes. All right. So we're kind of getting a good gauge on where we are currently at. I see some yeses, some no. I've been using Claude. Look, family, I think just something important to understand too is I don't know, even coming into this, it's like, all right, we have this session and what we're going to be covering here. And I don't know if you guys saw that Claude just rolled out Dispatch. Has anybody here seen that Claude just rolled out Dispatch? I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. So Craig's like, yes. Craig's like, all right, just give me the stuff. I've been utilizing all of it. So essentially, inside of Claude Cowork, you can build out your entire skill library that can go in there and start utilizing different skills inside of your computer. Then Cowork can go ahead and take over your computer and actually start performing the tasks. And now what they just rolled out inside of Claude is a way from your phone to literally take control of your computer. It's something called Dispatch, where essentially, if you guys are at your kid's soccer game, right? You're at your kid's soccer game and it's like, oh crap, this person emailed me something. I need to check all my emails, get a report, and get it all done. You can go into Dispatch and say, hey, can you go into my emails, check everything? And it will go take over your computer that's at home, essentially, and then start working the computer, run the reports, and do things for you and send it back. So that just happened 2 days ago. So it's funny being in this space of Jeff, you're calling me an AI expert. I feel like the biggest AI experts, and I'm sure for those of you guys who have been diving into Cowork, diving into code and all these places, the biggest expert in the field is literally Claude or the AI itself. Can we all just agree with that? Because you can literally ask it a question or ask it to create a product or service for you, and it will literally go into there and start creating it for you. So one thing I want us all to really understand on all of this too is, look, the best instructor on almost all of this is AI itself. I just want to pause right there. Because there's people on stage oh, I know everything. No, I bet you Claude knows more than you. I bet you it knows how to use the tool better than you do. So I want us all to take a breath and understand that. I feel like on these Zooms, what I want to be covering is just different use cases or how we're currently utilizing it, different solutions that we are coming up with, and just the frame that we are looking at this through. Because Look, if you really like, I want everybody here to be honest with themselves. Because if you really want to learn AI and you say you don't have the training, you don't know how, that is an excuse, period. That is simply an excuse. You can go into Claude, you can go into chat, you can go into these tools, and any questions that you have, it will literally answer it for you. It will walk you through how to do it. And if you take control of your computer, use Cowork, use OpenClaw, and these things, it will literally start doing it for you. So I don't want to come on here and I appreciate you saying expert, Jeff, because that kind of queued this up because I'm looking at all this and it's just like, look, the biggest expert in the world on this is the tool itself. The only one that is holding you back from learning this is yourself. It's not the training, it is not the video, it is not, oh, I'm waiting for this person to come out with it. It's understanding that this technology does not play by the same rules as anything else. You don't need a giant how-to manual. It's just understanding more so of, I believe the biggest skill. Look, family, we're moving from generative AI to agentic AI, and everything is changing. Okay, everything is changing. About 80% of the work that you guys do behind the computer is going to get commoditized. We're moving in that direction. That shouldn't scare you. You should say, great, I actually like talking to people. That's why I got into real estate. I didn't get into real estate to spend 80% of my time behind a computer. So we have to make sure that our frame on this is correct. Like moving into this future, I know people that I talk to, it's like, oh no, what am I going to do? What is my value? I'm like, wait, did you rate your entire value as a real estate agent by the work you did behind the computer? Or was it your actual ability to communicate, ability to negotiate, have conversations? So I believe it's just, look, when we're moving into agentic, when we even start having this conversation, because these updates that are coming out, they're not slowing down, they're only speeding up. And I want us all to be aware of, I'm going to bring this up. I've talked about it before, and I did not plan on talking about this. And it just seems like this is where this is going. Let me see if I can even, here, we're going to watch this video here. Oh, that's from April. You know what's funny? Like, even researching this, if I'm watching an AI video that's like 4 days old, I look for a newer one. Does anybody else do that? Because if I'm on YouTube, I'm like, oh, it's 4 days old. No, that's too old. I got to get one that's like today or like yesterday, and like that's it. So look, like I feel like the hard part that I am finding, like coming onto these calls now, even like going over a strategy in 4 days, that strategy might change. The button might change. Now they have dispatch. They didn't have dispatch 2 days ago, right? And then in my position, I will tell you guys this: I cannot become an expert on dispatch and come up with 20 different ways to utilize it in 2 days. Why? Because I haven't tested it enough, right? So like here's what I want us to also understand too: is it important to learn a lot of this? Yes, but we have to get into the mindset of, I believe the biggest skill in this agentic world is you properly identifying the problem you are trying to solve. Problem first, then tool. Problem first, then tool. If you always think tool first, you will get something I like to call AI tool addiction. You'd be like, hey, Nick, what's that $20 a month tool that just came out? I need to learn it. I need to learn this. I need to do that. You need to properly identify the problem you are looking to solve. Here are some of the biggest issues that I see that agents are going through right now. They learn Claude Code, they learn all these different tools, and all of a sudden they end up with 20 dashboards that's going to make their life ultimately more efficient. I'm like, yeah, but you're not going to use any of them, right? Like you can create a dashboard overnight. You can create an app overnight. You can create a system overnight. Does it actually solve a problem for you? Look, we are getting into the age of AI is literally going to be able to do damn near everything behind your computer. And here's one thing I want all of us to keep an eye out for, because even learning all of this, I mean, again, it's a tough position to be in because I'm not someone to sit around and wait. I'm diving into each tool. I'm diving into each one, like figuring out different solutions. But I also have some only factors that you guys do not. My only factor is that's my job. Your job is a real estate agent. So is your job best spent spending every single hour behind a computer, jumping into Manus, jumping into Perplexity, jumping into Claude, jumping into OpenClaw, trying to set all of them up, figure out how they all work together. And then, by the way, you still haven't even identified the problem you're trying to solve. So you're just playing with all the tools. So I'm telling you right now, one of the best skills you can acquire is properly identifying the problem that you have. Because the tool will not be the issue, it will be your thinking. The reality is everybody in the world is getting this technology, including the consumer, including Zillow. Ooh. That's a bad word, right? Including Zillow. They're getting this technology too. I just want to have a news flash for you guys. They have millions and millions and even probably billions of dollars. They have developers on staff. They are building some things that I'm sorry, us behind a computer probably can't. I'm not saying we can't compete with it, but they are building this technology to hand a consumer. That is their goal. I mean, they've made it very clear that that's been their goal from the beginning. And I'm sorry if I'm not going to dive into just all the nuances. Like, because if I jump into Claude Cowork, someone will be like, yeah, but I'm using OpenClaw. If I jump into Perplexity Computer, then someone will be like, yeah, but I'm using Claude Cowork. And then you'll be sitting here like, yeah, that's a cool tool. And then you'll try to jump into a new one without really sitting there and thinking, why am I doing this in the first place? Which is, what is the problem you are looking to solve? Because even in a month from now, you know how much simpler all of this is going to be? Like buy, like even like from the beginning, I was talking with another individual, Jay, and Jay was saying, "Oh yeah, I set up OpenClaw, and then it crashed, and then I went to set up the next week." He's like, "Wow, it was so much easier because they came out with updates, they came out with debugs, and everything was set up." So help me saying this isn't you saying, "Oh, I'm going to sit back and wait." That's not the point of this call. But you have to really understand what's happening, and sometimes, especially right now, we get tunnel vision. We can't help it. We're humans. We think linearly. We think that like our human brains are literally wired to think linearly. This is exponential technology. And I want to introduce you guys. If you guys haven't seen this, let me see if I can find a recent article on this. Well, I'll just go to Perplexity. Here we go. Give me the most recent article on Johnny Ive and Sam Altman device, AI agent device. So like we're like even prepping for a lot of this using dispatch. Look, dispatch is just a notch in the belt right now, just like a step in the direction of where this is going. As revolutionary as it is, and we'll sit back like, oh my gosh, I like 2 days ago this dropped. I can use dispatch to talk to Claude on my phone and it goes and runs my computer. Family, this is all right. Here, I'll just put these two names in the chat. You guys can look it up. Johnny Ive, and I'll talk to you guys about it. And Sam Altman AI device. If you guys want to do your own research, and look, family, the reason I'm saying this is we all have to learn to do our own research. Just throwing that out there. Like we all have the tools now. There's no excuse for it. But if you guys really want to see where this is going, because right now everything is like we get so here's an update, here's an update, here's an update, here's an update. Let's take a step back and see where this is really going. You guys with me on that? Because if you get too tunnel vision, this is exponential technology. It does not play by the same rules as anything we've ever dealt with. And it's hard for our brain to comprehend this. I'm sure even me talking about Perplexity Computer, Claude Cowork, some of your brains are like, what? Like, I didn't even like know these things existed. And maybe some of you is like, I know these exist, but how do I use each one? Look, if we're really taking a look at where this is going, if you research Johnny Ive and Sam Altman, and you've been listening to like the World Economic Forum, you listen to Elon Musk. Look, physical AI built into devices is where all this is going. Agentic in the size of a jump drive. Johnny Ive and Sam Altman are building this, and they say February of 2026. February 2027. I'm sorry. It's already 2026. February of 2027 when they're launching this 100 million in their first production. What is it? So all these things that we're spending all this time and we think we created gold because, oh my gosh, I use agentic AI to do all these different things. It will be built into a device that you just talk to that can run your computer, run your emails, run your calendar, run everything that a computer can do, and you talk to it back and forth. How do we see this writing on the wall? Well, they've been saying this for the last year and a half that this is what they're doing. So they've been telling us. Elon Musk says email won't even exist in the way that we see it. They're getting us away from our phones. I know that might sound crazy to us, right? Like, Nick, there's no way they're going to get you away from these phones. Well, if I told you in 1990 that there's going to be a phone that people scroll on for 3 hours, 4 hours a day, when they're at family events, they don't even talk to people. They look at this little screen. You probably tell me I'm crazy. Like, there's no way people would do that. Well, look where we're at now. I'm sure you all thought of a family member when I said that too, right? The one that's just sitting there scrolling, doing all these things when you're sitting there. Well, look, family, we're going to be getting away from phones. We will be getting away from phones. Maybe there'll still be people that scroll and do stuff. Yeah, but then there's going to be a whole other can of worms that come with this too. You might be saying, "Yay, we're away from phones," but people were like, "Yay, we have the internet on our phone," and like we thought that was good, right? But if you look at where this is going, and I hate to say this, a lot of things that people are building, it's building based on where it's at and not where it's going. It's hard to really say where this is going to be in 5 years. I can't really say. Nobody in the world can. But here's what I can tell you. Physical AI is going to be the next wave that really shakes the world and how we utilize this technology. Physical AI will. Why? Because it will be agentic in the size of a jump drive that everybody on the planet can use. Why? Because it's so simple. You talk to it, and it sets up to everything that will be on your computer, your email, your calendar, your favorite things, all the data. You know, all that data that they've been collecting on us for the last 20 some years built into these things. And you just talk to it. And it goes and does the work on the computer, goes and checks your emails, probably even responds for you. And it will be built into this little jump drive. And why is this going to be big? Because innovation happens at the speed of adoption. Okay. Innovation happens at the speed of adoption. You might be using Claude Cowork right now and be like, why isn't the whole world using this? Because people stare at that blank screen and say, how do I use it? What do I do? How do I set it up? That's why it's not being so innovative right now. And if you are using it, newsflash, you guys are on the bleeding edge. You know what percentage of the world is even utilizing this technology right now? But the moment it is built into a jump drive and you can just talk to it and it does work for you, people are like, oh, that's easy. That's simple. So why am I bringing all this up? I hope this doesn't like get you guys away from whatever you're building, whatever you're doing, because I think it's important that we start utilizing this technology. You start using it. Dispatch rolled out. Yeah, that's great, but it's just a step in the direction of physical AI agents that is running your entire life. So with all of this, we have to understand that once something becomes so simple that anyone can do it, it is no longer a valuable skill. I will say that again. Once something becomes so simple that anyone can do it, it is no longer a valuable skill. And as great as everything is right now, I don't want people here spending more than 3 hours a day building something that is going to be replaced in the next 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, because you think you're building the greatest thing since scratch bread. Yes, Carlton says it great. It's getting commoditized. Family AI is getting commoditized. It is getting commoditized. Jeff, did I talk about the World War II planes on the last call? Is that what I went over? I see Zach's nodding his head. I think, did I cover that last time? I'll cover this story quickly because I think it is important just to kind of give us a scope and a frame on all this. During World War II, what happened was the US would send out fighter planes, right? And only a certain amount of planes would come back. And what most people did is the wings and the tail were all shot up, right? And what most people said is, oh my gosh, we need to reinforce the wings and the tail. Why? Because that's where all the planes were shot up. And there was one engineer that came in and said, no, 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 no. These planes made it back. These planes made it back. What happened? The engines were spotless. So he said, the obvious thing is to reinforce the wings and the tail, but the engines are spotless. That means the planes who didn't make it back got shot in the engines. So we must reinforce the engines. So what is everybody doing right now? You got to learn AI. You got to learn agentic. You got to do this. You got to do that. That is the obvious thing. That is your wings and your tail. The engines, you really, it's hard to say this because do we have to learn AI? Absolutely. Right? I'm not telling you to cut off your wings and your tail of your plane. That's just stupid. But you have to also understand that there are parts of the business that AI will not replace. In the next year, a lot of those parts of the business are going to be put on blast. They're going to be put on notice because with these agentic AI, with it built into physical devices, all these things that people are buying Mac minis, learning how to source, learning how to set up their QC, learning how to put in their brain, learning how to MD like their files and everything else. You're literally just going to talk to a device that's going to do all that for you. And you're going to be sitting there like, well, now what? And again, I hope me saying this isn't you saying don't learn how to do any of this because there is about a 6 month window that you have to learn this, implement it, and do it and understand it. Um, but I think it's just taking a step back and really taking a look at this. Look, family, we're stepping into a world where cars are driving themselves. Cars are driving themselves. People are being served by robotics. There's a lot of different things that are happening. I'm not even talking about the medical advancements that are coming because of AI. Like our world is going to look drastically different. And if we focus too much on just right now and not take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you're going to miss out on some things. And I believe, I firmly, firmly, firmly believe this, that AI search will be one of like people's best friends in this world. Why? Because if everybody is talking to their AI agent and asking it for advice, asking it where to go, asking it what to do, asking to check its emails, asking to check its calendar, asking to respond to people, that is going to be their most trusted advisor. Would you guys agree with that? But yes, if you agree with that in the chat, that people will trust this device with whatever information it gives them. I know that sounds crazy, right? Like, no way people are just going to trust AI. We know how much it hallucinates, it does this or that. Well, let me ask you this. How many people here know somebody that believes anything that they read on Facebook, right? They don't check, they don't Google, like, they don't even Google search it. They see that, like, the world is ending. They don't even do any research into, like, oh, maybe I should do a little research. No, they read a headline, like, oh, yeah, it's true. It's true. I believe AI search is literally going to be the modern referral, where people go to get information, where people go to their trusted advisor. It's already happening right now. We had a client I had a call last Thursday, and he said, "Yeah, I just got a $1.5 million commercial deal because they asked Chat GPT." But like, here's the thing: they don't just go into Chat GPT and say, "Hey, who should I work with?" They ask questions like, hey, I have this commercial building. Can you tell me about the markets? Can you tell me about this? Can you go into these details? Oh, and then after all of that, they ask who they should work with. So it has the data and information. And then based on that information, who they ask to work with is based on the questions that they ask. You guys are familiar with marketing terms. You have top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, right? Top of funnel is basic information. Middle of funnel is like more serious questions. And bottom of funnel is who you actually work with. What's happening now is the whole thing is basically getting top of funnel and middle of funnel is AI. They ask AI their top of funnel questions, they ask AI their middle of funnel questions, and then they ask who to work with, and then you will either be found or you won't. And look, family, in this world of agentic AI, if you're trying to keep up with it, good luck. You have a full-time job and you're a part-time agent. There's a little saying inside of like I'm part of a group and there's a lot of like AI people and some of our influencers who I think are full of it, but like it's this group of individuals who are all learning AI and they're like, yeah, if you stay up to date with everything AI, you're actually broke because you're actually not implementing and doing anything. And again, I hope me like having this conversation isn't getting you guys to say, "Oh, I'm just not going to learn it." That's not the point of this. Don't cut off your tail and your wings. There is literally not a future that exists in which you don't have to learn how to use AI. Period. It doesn't exist. The best instructor that you have on all this is AI itself. If you are unwilling to do that, then you're unwilling to learn, you're unwilling to grow, and unwilling to hold yourself accountable. Look, all the things that we've been learning all these years, I feel like it's like a litmus test now. You guys kind of feel that? Because it's like, what? You can tell someone's intelligence by the questions they ask. Well, what is that with AI? The way that you ask your questions, the way that you prompt it, the way that you get the information. There's no magic prompt that will just solve your problem. No. How in depth are you going into it? But there is one thing that I do love. Is anybody here using Whisper Flow? Anybody here using Whisper Flow? I freaking love Whisper Flow. Um, I will drop this link in the chat because it is one tool that I just love. It's simple. I just put the link in the chat. It's not even my affiliate link. I think I could get one, but whatever. Whisper Flow. It's talk text on steroids. So like if I'm like, hey, I want to write a prompt. I want you to ask questions about first time home buyers. No, wait. I want to make it luxury home buyers. It takes out what I said before, the no, wait, and only does what I just said. It takes out my ums and likes. And it's essentially like AI talk to text that actually works. And it was cool because it showed me I talk 176 words a minute, if you probably could believe that, and only type 46. So I'm like, I don't type anything anymore on my computer. I literally just hit Whisper Flow and I just talk to it. I write better prompts. I can actually talk about what's going on. It works with emails, it works with texting, it works with anything that you can do. That is one tool that I use. But I digress. Um, but it's understanding that, look, family, all the things that you guys have been learning about for years is coming into fruition. It's a litmus test. It is, do you hold yourself accountable to learning this? Are you somebody who is always actively trying to learn? You can tell someone's intelligence by the questions that they ask. All these things are coming to fruition. So if you've been working on your self-development and these things for years, great. You probably love what's going on. And look, family, it's just a time to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I willing to learn this? Am I willing to grow? Am I willing to just try it? And if it's a no, it's going to be a hard future because you're going to have to incorporate AI. So getting into this too. All right. I mean, at this time, I guess I'll open up to questions. I can show you guys some of the things that I've been doing. But I just kind of want to open up to questions that you guys have, questions, comments, or just like things that you guys are experiencing. Like, yeah, that rings true to me. Is there anything that you guys want to share? Like, especially the people who've been diving in this as well. Just kind of your experience too.
Go ahead and unmute yourself if you have something. Throw it out there. Who's got a question for Nick? Anything you're working on right now using AI?
I'm just curious, Nick, because you're always philosophical, thinking of the future and all that. Just, real estate in general.
Yeah.
Just, I know it's hard to go out, but if you can go out 6 months, if consumers are getting to where they're using this system and they're starting to really be able to find and solve or do anything they want to do you see a point in time where there potentially could not even need a realtor because everything can be
Um,
done? I mean, just kind of your thoughts on that whole thing, big picture.
I don't. I'll give you guys an example of like why I don't believe that's the case. So this year, I run all of my AI through a private SOC 2 server. So that way I don't have to get my own Mac Mini or anything else. It's on the cloud, but it's SOC 2 compliant. So like it's actually my private data, and that's actually something I'll be rolling out May 21st. If you guys are interested in that, it'll come with an entire agentic setup. So you have like your agent brain, your CEO, your agent builder, your app builder, your website builder, all agents pre-built into it in the SOC 2 compliant server. But that's a whole other thing. And I can show you guys a little bit of that. But yeah, so like an example of this is so I ran like my taxes through it. So like my bookkeepers were taking so freaking long. I'm like, all right, I can do this, right? I know enough. So I ran all of it through it and I got my answers, but I didn't like just go to the IRS and say, here they are, they're done. I went back to the bookkeepers and I went back to my tax guy and said, hey, can you check this? Right. So, like, I feel like, well, my belief is that it's going to be a smaller pool of agents that do a lot more deals, is where this is going. A smaller pool of agents that do a lot more deals, and the commission structure might change too. But you're doing more deals and then about the same amount of work, and you are more of like the HR of the AI, right? Like like a Target checkout line where everybody does self checkout, but there's still someone's like, "Let me see your receipt." All right, you're good to go. I mean, it's not going to be to that extent because there is more skill that goes into this. I could see it be more in like senior level agents, and then you guys have apprentices that shadow you to be able to build the skill to where people can trust them, right? Because in the AI world, most people can go to AI and they'll be able to do a bunch of things. So why would I go to somebody who's never done a deal? You're just as clueless as I am. You're just using AI just like I am. So I can almost even see it be a smaller pool of agents that do more deals, and then those agents have apprentices that get something that AI doesn't really have, which is applied knowledge in the real world to understand this. That is more my belief, and I've talked to a lot of people who think the same way. But again, that's just how we're thinking. I'm not saying that's exactly where it's going, but what I see happening is agents are going to be more the HR of the AI that is performing these tasks. That's basically like, yes, in my experience of doing 300 deals, this is the right structure. Or no, this is kind of right, but here's how we're going to shift it based on my experience. So that's my belief in where I like where this is going as far as the agent side. And I feel like every company is going to run dang near the same way. Senior level employees with their apprentices that are learning from them. Because you have to think like the junior level work, we're already seeing this happen in the corporate world where they're getting rid of their junior level employees and then giving their senior level employees AI agents in a team. Why? Because the junior level employees just did research, did stats, crunched numbers, and did these things. All that could be done on AI. So everything I think is going to shift to like the A players with apprentices that are learning from the A players who are all actively using the AI agents in their infrastructure. That's where I see it going. Good question, Sean.
I would agree with that. I think, yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time. I think we've seen that shift here. The 80-20 rule is now the 90-10 rule in real estate. I mean, 10%
Yeah.
of the agents are doing 90% of the business. And you got to, that's where I think this stuff is so important. You got to keep up with some of this stuff. Anybody can come in and do 3 or 4 deals a year. But if you want to really build a business and really make this work, you got to stay up with some of this stuff,
Yeah,
be on top of
because
it.
you have to think about it too. If I'm just an everyday person and I ask a bunch of questions to AI about my home, and then somebody comes in who did 2 deals, who doesn't know more than my AI, I will say, why am I working with you? Great example. I know Glenn Sanford said he sat down and he negotiated his car with a coworker. And the guy said he had to go back and forth and had to talk to it. And he's like, oh, the guy was squirming in his chair. And I'm like, I kind of laughed. And I'm like, that's going to be a lot of agents. They have to negotiate or like they have to work past this and they'll be squirming. Why? Because you focused on your wings and not your engine, right? Because you didn't focus on the part of the business that AI can't replace, which is if you are solely based on information, information is getting commoditized. And I feel bad for public schools because I think all like colleges, I don't even know if they'll be like around to the extent they are in the next 5 years because they're all information based. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, I saw Zachary, you unmuted too. Did you have anything to add or any comment?
Oh man, I have so much. This is awesome. You're firing me up. It is exciting. You know, I saw a new like reel the other day and it was just some agent talking about how it's like you can use AI now to write your listing descriptions and it's like I can't believe that's even popping up. So it like comes back to
Yeah.
your point. It's like you really do have to be playing chess on this. You have to be thinking so many moves ahead. And I was reading this book last night by Michael Crichton and it was literally talking about how like physicists in 1899, like they thought they had the mysteries of the universe figured out. And if you would have said like 100 years later in 1999 that we were going to have like televisions and radios and all they would have been like, no, that's crazy. But now we're so far ahead of that. So I hear what you're saying. This is kind of a technical question. I don't know if this is what you're going to get
Oh,
into, but oh, still got me?
yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Did I disappear?
Because I know you're talking about like co-work and OpenClaw. I guess kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at, and I know a lot of people here are using Attract ROI, is figuring out how
Mm.
to like tie Claude into Go High Level to actually do a lot of the driving. Because right now I'm
Yeah.
doing like screenshots and asking for advice on how to set up these workflows, but I know there's ways to plug it in, but like I said, that's kind of technical, so I don't know if that's where we're headed today.
No, it is technical, and I think that's a great question. As far as just letting it run your database, I don't believe it's there yet. I've tested it out where I've tried to have it set up campaigns, and they actually kind of created chaos because it does things very confidently. And then I go in and I start checking. I'm like, well, that's not set up right. They're like, oh, you're right. You caught me. I didn't do this or that. I'm like, well, that's not what I was trying to do. Um, so I use it more so as my assistant in what I am going through. I think screenshots is one way, but Cowork, you can even just share your screen and ask it to walk you through it, and it'll be able to identify the different areas and help walk you through it. Um, Logistic coordinator created this whole thing in AI, then it just spit out proposal before I respond. Um, so I believe it's more so of I'm not saying you're doing it the absolute most efficient way, but just asking it to run your entire campaign. That's like in high level, like they have the AI funnel builder. Like we're pretty deep into high level. I've been using the last 4 years, and I've tested it out where it's like trying to build the entire funnel just with AI, and it misses a lot of steps. It sounds great, but here's the thing: in like 2 months, it's probably going to be there.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I just don't believe it's there yet for it to run my entire campaign and set everything up properly. Um,
Hmm.
I communicate with it and I walk it through the steps, but I also have somebody on my team who does that full time, right? Who all they do is high level. Um, but that's just more so where I'm at. I'm sorry, I don't have a better answer for you on that. But
No.
like asking it to walk you through the steps and you could have it look at your screen and like tell you, like, all right, this is the place I'm getting stuck. Craig, I see you're unmuting. What's up, Craig?
I I just started with high level
Yeah,
and I used ChatGPT to walk me through it. I was surprised how much it knew already
yeah,
about I didn't have to show it high level or anything. I just mentioned it and it walked me through setting up an entire campaign with
yeah,
with all of my emails, all of my timing and everything else. Took me 15 minutes to set it up and I didn't have to go and try and figure out how to use it, which
yeah,
blew me away. It just walked
yeah,
me through every step.
yeah. No, that's a great example, Craig, because it's like, look. you can sit there and I was talking to somebody that just started high level, like, yeah, they sent me a 12-hour onboarding video. I'm like, who the heck is gonna watch a 12-hour onboarding video, right? But you can go ask AI, like, this is exactly what I'm trying to do. Walk me through it, and it will walk you through it. Look, family, this is like, look, one of my number one core value is 100% accountability, zero excuses. If you say, I don't know how to do it, that's an excuse, because you can literally learn how to do anything with this technology. But the issue is, have you properly identified the problem you are looking to solve? Because if not, you'll be like, oh, it's not working. No, you haven't clearly identified what you are looking to solve. And then went to AI with that clear problem. Once you do that and start using it, like, oh, wait, it can't do that. That's going to be people's biggest issue, is they don't know what they're actually trying to solve. And then you end up with 15 dashboards for your business in the name of efficiency, and you end up with exponential chaos. Because with exponential technology, with no systems, just creates exponential chaos, creates AI anarchy. You got 5 subscriptions all working on different things in no order, no rhyme or reason, because you watched a freaking Zoom call that told you to set this up. And you just end up with chaos. Like, one of the things, I guess I'll kind of showcase this to you guys. I don't know. Can I share my whole screen? I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah, desktop. Like, one of the things I'm currently doing too is, like, I set up, so I'm using, again, I can't talk about this yet, exactly the tool that I'm using, but I set up my CEO 007, is just what I call it on my phone, but I set it up through iMessage where, so like, here's my agentic setup. And I think this is where, again, like, part of the entire agentic ecosystem, if you're trying to create agents, you need like your brain first, because if you don't have your brain that has all the information on you, doesn't have your memory files, you don't create a memory file and all these things, your AI agents won't remember what you're telling it from the day before. Right? AI agents are essentially like orchestrate. Think of them as digital employees. All right. So they're your digital employees. So the way that we are setting this up is I have my CEO agent at the top. And then I have like an AI agent app builder, an AI agent AEO expert, an AI agent agent builder. So now I don't have to go in there and manually build each agent. My CEO agent delegates it to the right employee each time. So this is me texting my CEO agent. I'm testing some things out. I don't have everything hooked up yet, but I just said, hey, I just texted it. Here, I can even do this again so you guys can see it in real time. Let's see. Does anybody have a listing that they currently have? Give me the address of your listing. Let's have some fun. All right, here we go. And then Zachary, where is that at? I think it'll pull the right one. 8122. I think that's enough information. So I'll just show you guys like in real time. Yeah, I have a listing a sting. I have a sting operation that I'm performing now. A listing appointment at Barrett Avenue, 8121 Cannon City. Can you put together a listing? All right, I'm going to do this the rest of the way. Can you put together a listing presentation for me? Can you include neighborhood data, market research, community information, anything else that you think will be pertinent for this listing presentation? Can you also brand it in the Creme AI style? See, so that's why I like Whisperflow. Obviously, I can do that a lot faster. So I just texted my CEO agent, and what he is going to do, I have a market research one. And this is where like your connectors matter, because if you can connect it to your MLS, I know some have open APIs, some don't. We can literally connect it to that to be able to get the data and research. But I have a research agent, I have a web developer agent, I have a presentation agent. So I text my CEO agent, and it's probably take like 2 to 3 minutes. You see, I did it up here, but it's going to put this together and it's going to give me a custom link to a presentation based on all this information. So we're going to see if it's able to pull the data. While this is working, I guess I'll show you guys this as well. Let me make sure my sound is shared. So one thing my company is working on is solutions inside of this space, right? Because I know there's like a lot of how-to manuals out there, but I don't think agents need how-to manuals. So what I'm about to show you is, we're calling it My Listing Buddy, and it's going to be My Listing Buddy like 2.0 on steroids. But imagine like you got your new pictures and you have everything for your listing. So you just text it your Zillow link, and it will put together your single property website. It will put together the AEO format for this. Why? Because if people are researching, hey, are there any homes with pools or nearby this area? If your listing doesn't have that information, it will not be recommended. Does that make sense? Because like on your single property website, on your information, if you don't have neighborhood commodities, how close it is to highways, like all these things listed on it in a way that AI is able to find. And just a quick newsflash too, most websites on a lot of people's, even like their, like I'm not going to name drop somebody, but a lot of people's CRMs actually blocks AI from being able to crawl it. That's a big issue. Most websites actually block AI from being able to crawl it. But imagine you just texted your Zillow link, and there's about 7 different AI agents that are working on this, including there's about 5 agents that turn the pictures into videos. So like it takes your pictures and it instantly turns it into videos. And that's what creates your just listed, just sold, and everything else. And all you do is text your CEO agent, your Zillow link, and it creates all this for you. But even like, man, so even something as simple as that, we're like, oh, it takes my pictures and turns it into a video. There's about 4 different video models that it uses. There's one agent whose job is to say, okay, which one of these pictures is the front of the house? Which is the entry? Why? Because you don't want the bathroom being the first image of the home. And if you don't train your AI agent to make sure that it selects the right one, it's not going to work every single time. So like there's a lot that even goes into this, because I know some people online are like, oh, you can build an AI agent in seconds and have it run your entire system and processes. Yeah, it's a great way to create exponential chaos because AI is smart, but without the right guardrails and context, you'll start finding out like, look, I'm burning credits and hours creating something that doesn't even work. So we're working to just build these things for you. But here we go. Let's check this out.
Okay, we're getting them going, man.
Can you guys hear that?
It's starting to look pretty good in terms of the way the sites are.
So like, again, like this goes through, all you did was text your Zillow link and it took the images. It has what to do around there. Where's the buy?
Lead capture is all working. The galleries are working. And then we got the automatic generation of the videos. Check this out. Imagine you can use your own audio in different styles, but here's just one.
And all you did was text your Zillow link. Oh, wait, I want to show it. Oh, and by the way, here we go. So my full listing presentation. And right now I just have it running through base. But this is like my branding, my information here, active listing, pricing strategy, property details, Canon market data, median sales price, days on markets, verdict. Here are some different recent sales in the area, comps, lifestyle, telling people about the lifestyle, recommending pricing, sweet spot. And again, depending on how you connect your data, like if I was to do this properly, I would either A, connect it to my MLS, or B, provide market data to be able to create this, because you can get it from the MLS. And then here we go. This is just about me. So why work with Nick Krem? So it like, look, my agent brain knows who I am. And the funny thing about my agent brain is, since I have a market research and everything set up, I just asked AI to do research on me and to create my brain. And it researched all my profiles and my websites and then created the brain and extracted all the information. But you see, guys, this is literally all I did was text my CEO agent and it did all this. So like, this is why I'm saying, family, a lot of this is, can you guys see how this is getting commoditized? You know, like before this, I was teaching agents, all right, go into VO3, put all of your images in the right order, get this $30 a month subscription. And then you're going to have to learn to put it in the right order, have the right details, have the right process for all of this. And now we figured out a way where you can just text it your freaking Zillow link and it creates the website in an AEO, GEO friendly manner, creates the video, creates the information. And all you got to do is text it. So like, this is why my company is making a switch from, and Jeff, this is just good for this call too. We're making a switch from how-to manuals to either solutions or ideas of solutions, right? Like you guys want, so like, I'm not going to teach you guys how to build a phone anymore. If you want to learn how to build a phone, go ask AI and we'll tell you exactly how to build it if you want to go that route. And I will give you guys this creme.ai/live. I'm going to give you guys this link. May 21st, we are launching that tool and then our partnership out to the public because we partner with former Microsoft AI engineers to help us build this stuff. Like, I looked at this and said, look, I can do this, but there were people who are coding when they were 8 years old. Why not partner with them to actually get solutions built? So that's one of the solutions that will be launched on the 21st. So I'm just throwing that link in the chat if you guys want to learn more about how you can just text the Zillow link and then run your AI agents through texting. That's what we're going to be rolling out and doing. Let me see if the program is back up. And look, family, we're in a precarious spot here because, like, does anybody else feel like they're standing on quicksand with AI? Like, every time you feel like you get a stable ground, it shifts and does something again. Like, the whole world is in that spot. So I'm going to be shifting away from how-to manuals because I'm going to show you, like, if I show you something once a month, it'll be good for about maybe a week before like things update and change again. So I'm going to switch to different solutions that we are doing, solutions that we are offering, and just kind of going over the concepts. Because if you guys want to do it yourself, the concepts and how you think matter more than the tool. Period. How you think about this matters more than the tool because the tool will always shift. It will all, like, it is never going to be stable again, family. And you have to start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Hey, again, another principle that's been out there since the beginning of time, being comfortable, being uncomfortable. The systems, the tools, everything is shifting. But I just want to show you guys just a little bit of what we are working on. Easiest way to get to see that and information. So that link I put there in the chat, Svetlana, is like one of the ways that we are going to be doing this. And we're just going to be partnering with a company that's going to build this out and then be able to say, hey, hire this digital employee. That's basically the way it's going to be. We have another one where it'll create your landing page and then blog for you automatically. But then again, it's like there's a lot of training that goes into that, the right AEO, GEO setup. And we've taken, like, we're getting some people like 2 to 3 deals a month. That is not everybody. I want to make that very freaking clear. AI search is a whole nother animal in itself. And while I'm on here, I'm going to give you guys this one prompt. I highly recommend that you put this into Gemini. Put that prompt into Gemini, fill it out, because your NAP, name, address, phone number, like business name, consistency across all platforms really matters. And here's why. If AI wants to recommend you and you have 4 different phone numbers listed online, they'll be like, I don't know which number to recommend. I'm going to go find somebody who has the same stuff. Does that make sense? Because if you have 4 numbers, 3 emails, you're still listed at 2 different brokerages. AI's gonna be like, yeah, I can't trust this person. I'm gonna go find somebody who is trustworthy online. So as much as I can go into how to get found through AI, if you don't have your name, address, phone number consistency, we find that it just won't recommend you. So this prompt, I recommend putting it into Gemini because it's Google. So it's the best at researching Google to find all your information. But just use that prompt, put it into Gemini, and then it will give you a report on where you're listed, what your name is. Even something like if your name is Mark Jones, I saw you on mute, but you have Mark H. Jones on some websites, Mark Jones on some websites. It'll be like, well, I don't know if this is the same Mark Jones because your name is different everywhere. So then it won't recommend you. Like, it's little stuff like that. I'm sure everybody, like, you can attend trainings on how do I get found through AI search. Well, this is how you don't get found. Right. So I think that's a good place to start. How do I make sure that everything is consistent right off the bat? So just put that prompt, fill that out into Gemini, and it will start telling you, like, all right, it'll literally just give you a report. So I think Tim printed his out. He's like, yeah, here's all the places that it's right, wrong, and what I need to change.
Quick testimonial. That was awesome, Nick. Everybody, Nick sent this to me yesterday, and I did it this morning, and I got a 3-page document back telling me everywhere I'm listed and how Tim Hollenden was here, the Hollenden team was here, no EXP Realty here, but EXP Realty there, and it's all those little inconsistencies that I spent a couple hours this morning cleaning up as much of it as I did, and then I went back and said, okay, I've done a lot, reevaluate me again, and it said, it's great to see you've been active on these updates. Your NAP footprint is much tighter now, especially da da da. So I'm just throwing it back in and in and in and challenging it to dive deeper, and it's it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and look, Tim, that's one of those where it doesn't make you just recommendable now, but you won't be recommendable if you don't have that. And then you can get into the blogging, then you can get into like, look, most websites right now block AI, and it's actually insane, especially the people who vibe coded those on Claude and didn't ask it to do the right robots.txt and have it open to AI crawlers. That's a whole other can of worms where if you don't have that set up, then it's actually going to be blocking it correct. Like literally you're blocking AI from viewing your site. And a lot of websites that have been built, even the last 2 years, don't have that set up properly. So it's a whole ecosystem that goes into that. And again, that's why one of the solutions I'll have is like, hey, we'll build you a community page that will blog for you consistently, that actually invites AI crawlers onto it, that will automatically update your FAQ every 10 days based on the most frequently asked questions, and you don't touch it. So it's just sign up and it does it and builds it for you.
Great stuff.
I don't know if this is what y'all were expecting coming onto the Agentic call. You're probably expecting me to dive into the new tool, maybe even in dispatch. But I'm just here to tell you, like, a lot of this is going to be shifting under your feet, especially with physical AI. Like, that's going to be the mass adoption. And if you guys aren't findable in that roadmap, it's going to be a lot different world for you compared to other people.
So Nick,
Tracy,
back over to.
Oh, go ahead. I'm
Yep.
sorry.
I can say back, Tim, to what you were doing. Is it not intelligent enough right now to go, can you go ahead and set up all my platforms to have the same information, the same look and feel, the same messaging? Can it not do that? You had to go in and manually do that? Why can't AI go do that now?
Well, if you're assigned it, so like this is where it's like, what kind of access do you have it on your computer? Do you have an access to run your entire computer? And are you logged into all the different platforms? So essentially it could, if you are like if you have a complete access to your computer and you're logged into all the platforms that it's attempting to log into. So essentially it could, but that just depends on what kind of access you are comfortable with.
Yeah, I could see where that wouldn't work. I mean, all those different sites that you've got, I mean, that you have to log into, and all the back end stuff that you have to go in and set up, and your profile picture, and you're this, and all that stuff. Like, I can see how that can do. One thing, just to hit this real quick before we get off here, because Lydia asked this question. I think it's just how would you address this? Because I know there's people on here thinking like, oh my God, it's so much, it's so many tools. It's Gemini, it's Claude, it's ChatGPT, it's Notebook LM, and it's all this stuff. It's like we're, and again, like I think we're I think we're all trying to figure out, like, I went ahead and paid the annual subscription to Claude, but I'm still paying $20 a month for ChatGPT, and I'm trying to figure some of this stuff out too, because next thing you know, you're spending $300 a month, and what am I using? What am I doing? Where am I at? Who am I? What day is it?
If you guys want to learn how you guys can get a fractional AI operator in your team, we did open that up. You can just text start to that number. And what it is, we put someone through a 3-week boot camp of all the things that we're learning and implementing. They stay up to date with it, and they'll actually run your go high level for you. So we'll get you a sub account on our high level. We'll be able to create your landing pages, set up AI texting, set up AI calling, run that entire backend, and kind of run your operational system. That is a service that we provide. If you guys are interested to know more about that, like how can I just get somebody to do this for me, you just text start to that number, and my guy Chad reach out to you guys.
And I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, so I heard of Poe, and it says it runs all the AIs. I don't know if that's outdated information or if that's even useful.
It is, and it's not outdated. It runs all the large language models. I don't believe it runs like OpenClaw or any of those, but it does run all the large language models. And I think you can compare the different ones and like the conversations that you have with it. So there's that element of it. So and again, it works if that's the problem you are looking to solve, which is communicating with all the platforms. Like if that's the problem you're looking to solve, you can use that one. Right. I think that's where the tool doesn't matter as much as the problem you're actually looking to solve, because Poe does work. And I know many people that use it because they want to converse with all the models and see the different outputs. Right. But it's an aggregator, right? It's just all of them in one.
Yeah. I got a quick question before we leave. Tim, when you said you went in and used that Google search that
prompt.
Yeah, Nick gave us. And you said you cleaned up stuff. What do you mean by you cleaned up stuff? I stuff comes up that I was working with Berkshire Hathaway. Well, it was like 4.5, 5 years ago. How do you clean up stuff?
Well, the report gives you a URL to go in and fix it. So it literally will
Okay.
take you to the site and you go in and log in and go into edit and just change whatever it is that needed to be changed.
Okay. Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, because I'm like, well, that's all great, but how the hell did you do that?
Yeah. You might have to ask Berkshire Hathaway, like, take that crap down. I'm not with you anymore. Like that might have to be the conversation. You use AI to draft that in a nice way.
Yeah.
I do that a lot. I'm like, take that crap down. You need to make sure you take this down, but say it in a professional manner and draft the email.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
like how I really feel in a professional manner. So it's like, hey, would you
Okay.
kindly take this down? It's not like, and it writes it in a nice way.
Got it. Because I just like
Yeah.
said, I was confused. Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Cool. Does anybody else any questions? Anything? There's a lot here. This will be up on the website tomorrow.
I've got a real quick one.
Facebook. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, what's up, Tim?
Yeah, Nick, I am getting ready to implement a newsletter probably every other week to my production team, to all of our database. What's the best tool you would recommend for that to literally just create the newsletter for you? And I do want it to go into Go High Level and use the newsletter function in there and send it out through that.
So
I'm thinking
you're going to
graphics,
use
I'm thinking organization, I'm thinking pulling the articles in, all well-rounded.
Yeah.
Is there a specific tool
So like
that
what
comes
you
to
can
mind?
do, I would do this, and I actually do this. I would go into Claude. And I'd say, hey, I want to build a newsletter tool that I want to create an artifact that will create a newsletter that will pull different images from online and different things like that. I want it coded for high level, so that way I can just copy and paste the code into high level each time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop articles into here. So I need an upload link to drop the articles into it, and then I also need I'm going to be dropping otter notes from my Zoom call, so that way we can take the Zoom calls and then build it into the newsletter as well. Can you build me a tool that can do that? I didn't click on it. Hey, so I want you to build an artifact for me. The whole goal of this will be to create a newsletter that can go directly into high level, so I can just copy and paste it directly into the Go High Level natively. I want to be able to drop article links in it, so it needs to upload information, and then draft it in a newsletter style that matches the Krem Institutes. There also needs to be the upload link because I'm going to be dropping Zoom calls into it, and I need you to transcribe it and put it into a newsletter for me. So like this is a tool that I built that I just then gave to the people who runs my newsletters. So it's like, and listen, I'd have to tweak it and things along those lines. But it's going to go ahead and build an artifact that I can share with my organization where they upload my transcripts and then it automatically builds it and then codes it for high level. They copy and paste that into high level, and it's just a custom tool that I use now.
Very cool.
We could sit here and watch it make it. You'll see it's doing all these things.
Are you using Claude, Tim? Have you switched over to Claude?
I haven't bought it yet. I've been playing around with it a little bit.
Yeah. I've been using it. I used it yesterday. It put together a presentation that was, it was amazing. The presentation it put together like that, for a guy. Yeah, pretty cool.
Where I've had a challenge, and I don't know if it can be resolved, but I'm trying to take everything I've been doing in ChatGPT, and I've got all these different threads with the agents I'm talking to. And I followed what it said to do, and I cannot get it to be pulled over to Claude. So I'm having to do them individually. I've tried it 3 or 4 times. I got my VA to try to help, and we cannot pull everything over. I've been doing it for like 3 months with ChatGPT, so I got long threads on every individual agent, and I tried to export it. It's just not working. Not sure what to do.
So what I want to do is I want to go into ChatGPT and export each one of my threads and conversations into a file to bring over to it. Can you walk me through how I can use Claude Cowork to go into my ChatGPT to pull all that information, to put it in a CSV and bring it over into Claude? So a lot of times before I go into Cowork or anything, because you can burn through a lot of credits if you don't set it up correctly, I first go into Claude and then tell it what I want and then tell it how to prompt it or how to utilize it. So that way I don't burn through all my credits. Good news, built-in way to do this. Yeah. Yeah, but I want to be able to bring over each conversation, and that doesn't allow me to bring over each conversation. It kind of just does it individually. So I wanted to be able to go into each conversation, summarize it, and then bring it over into Claude.
So, like I said, right now it's the proper questioning to get the result you're looking for.
What I can do once it's uploaded here, every single export contains thread you've ever had. Export actually does include every conversation, all of them. So this is saying you can export, log in and chat, settings, data controls, export data.
That's
So you'll have to export all the data. You said you don't get it?
yeah, I mean, it said it could take up to 24 hours. It's been 2 or 3 days. I just got another message that said I think it's referring back to that, still saying that it's working on it. I'm 3 days in, so I don't, yeah. Anyway, I don't mean to tie everything up, brother.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So this is Tim. This is what I would do, and then I publish the artifact, and then I can share this as a link to just people on my team, and then issue AI for real estate agents. Let's just take a random article. This is not what I would do. Let's just say that was what I wanted to do. Break it down into action steps. Added both of these, and I can upload a Zoom transcript. But sometimes I'll like if I want to do this right, I'll give it references of what I want it to actually look like. So it'll build a custom tool that will be able to do this, and then copy HTML. Once it's done and generated, I can just copy this and then paste it into a high-level newsletter feature. That's one way to do it. I don't think that's what I want it to look like. But then again, I didn't tell it what I wanted to look like. But like that's where we do have like we have our newsletter one, which takes our testimonials. So we transcribe all of our testimonials and it puts it into our tool, and then it drafts a newsletter that we then put into high level. But that was a problem that I had. And I'm like, all right, let me just build something. And again, that might not be for everybody on this call. But I identified the problem. I went into details. I gave it reference points of what I wanted it to look like. And then it built a tool that can then do that. And I'm probably going to make that agentic, so I don't even have to tell my person to do it anymore. Because then look, everybody on my team knows there are not like our belief around all this is anti-fragile. You have to be anti-fragile because part of your jobs is going to be replaced.
Good stuff.
All right, family. I think that's what I got for you guys today.
Any last questions before Nick takes off? What time you present today, Nick? You get what time?
After 1. I think 1 is when it actually starts. That's why I'm like, I got more time. Yeah. But look, family, look. This is going to constantly shift. Take a step back and just always think problem first and then tool. That'll put like properly identifying the problem you are looking to solve is going to be one of your greatest aspects. In the age of AI, an MIT study that came out, the people that just go to AI to just solve without properly identifying their problem, their cognitive thinking goes down 62%. 62 freaking percent, your cognitive thinking goes down because they use AI to think for them. Instead, use it to think with you. Hey, here's the problem that I'm currently trying to solve. Ask me one question at a time until you have a full understanding and move forward. And then it becomes your thought partner, like in solving these problems. So it's your ability to properly identify the problem you are trying to solve is going to be your greatest asset. I firmly believe that because AI will not be the problem. It is just a tool. And also, AI does not want to take your job. AI has no feelings or emotions. It is simply a tool. If you think of AI as evil, it's like saying because the nuclear remote detonator runs on batteries that the batteries are evil, right? Like just a wild example. Like the batteries aren't evil, right? The people who decide to use technology is. So AI is not evil. It does not want to take your job. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't it's not out to take over the world, at least yet in this current circumstance of it. So don't look at it as evil, right? And again, if you're worried about security issues, that does exist, but that's like saying my grandma got hacked on the internet and don't use the internet. No, that's crazy. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's not the right way to think about it. So have an open mind, think problem first, then tool. If you want to learn any of this, go to Claude, go to AI and literally ask you, hey, here's what I'm trying to solve. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. And it will walk you through exactly how to do it.
Ask the questions. Ask a lot of questions in there. Yeah.
But again, if you aren't taking the amount of and this is just it's a hard point as an AI instructor to get across too, is that if you aren't taking the proper actions in your business to actually get business and talk to people, there's no AI that will just magically solve all of your problems. You have to be able to take enough action to say, oh, wow, I'm taking all this action. Here's where most of my time is getting taken up. Let's solve that. And then it's like, whoa, now it's a superpower. Because I believe AI is here to spend less time behind the computer and more time talking to people. If you aren't doing it that way, then you're doing it wrong. If you aren't spending less time behind a computer and more time talking to people with AI, you're doing it wrong. Because look, everything is getting commoditized. That great thing that you think you built that nobody else has, newsflash, I could probably recreate it overnight. And I'm not even the smartest person when it comes to AI. I'm working with former Microsoft AI engineers to build my stuff. So I hope this gave you guys some clarity and didn't like jumble you guys up too much, and just understand that this is going to constantly shift. AI agents is the next wave. You have to be able to think problem first. If you cannot properly identify the problem, no tool will save you.
So guys, real quick, I did put in the chat over here for anybody that's interested. Tomorrow,
that'll be a good one.
Yeah, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific. Glenn Sanford, our founder, is going to go on and be talking about just AI with EXP. They've created this whole thing, Myra. What's next? So if anybody wants to get on that, I did put that in our Freedom Team Facebook group. That's in there. Spread that around. Whatever. Probably be really interesting to be on there just to see what's going on with that. So that is tomorrow, and then we'll be back for just our open mastermind tomorrow morning at our regular time, 11 a.m. Eastern. So cool, Nick. We'll see you in a month.
All right.
Have a great time in Orlando.
See where this will be next month, right, guys?
I know where we're going to be. It'll be all new stuff.
Good luck today, Nick. Knock them over, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Guys, have a great day. We'll see you soon.